Today on Smoking with Dave, baby back ribs coming right up. Don't want to miss it. Hey, welcome. We're doing baby back ribs today. Gonna smoke these on up and it's gonna be delicious. So what we want to do first is when these come, they have like a membrane, a silver skin. So you want to be able to take that off because it's really not that good to eat. Makes the meat tough. So if you get down here on the meat, what we're going to do is try to find a spot that we can get our finger under. You can use a knife to kind of start it, and then once you get your fingers in there, you should be able to pull that skin right off. But you want to check to make sure it's got this on it, because sometimes from the butcher, depending on who it is, if you have a good butcher or whatever, they will automatically pull the skin off for you. See, this you don't want. This makes it very chewy and not very enjoyable when you're eating a rib. So we're going to set that off. Now there's also more of a membrane on there. You leave that on there. If you don't, your ribs are going to fall apart before you can even get to them. Alright, so what we're going to do, we've had this out of the packaging and we went ahead and dried it off a little bit, but I'm going to dry it off a little bit more. This is going to help everything stick. A little bit of fat here and there, but we want to leave some of that good fat on there. There's no extra fat. Now, I'm going to leave that little piece right there on. What the heck. If I was doing a competition or something, I might dress it up a little bit, but no big deal. Alright, so we start. I have it in a pan so I don't make a mess. We're going to use a mustard binder. You don't want to be afraid of mustard, even if you don't like mustard. You don't taste it when you're smoking this up. It just kind of helps everything stick together. So you want to put a good amount of that on. Flip it over. Do the same thing. Good mustard. You can use anything. You can use Worcestershire sauce. You can use nothing. You can use olive oil. Whatever your preference. This is just to help that rub stick to it. Okay. So now I'm going to add a base. They call it gospel. It's just a all-purpose rub. It has a good barbecue taste to it. And I'm right-handed, and I put that mustard on with the wrong hand, but I put the extra glove too on my left hand. Go figure that. I'm going to get that stuff down there real good and just kind of give it a little pat. I don't know why they call it a rub, because you don't want to rub it and take it all off. Alright, and we're going to flip this over. I'm going to do the same thing. Put a good amount on there. Make sure you get all that. I'm going to get the ends too. Don't want to forget that. That looks pretty good. My pan is just a little bit shorter than the ribs. And then what we want to do, I'm going to take this glove off because I am right-handed. Now we're going to put on a nice sweet honey hog barbecue. Good sweet taste. I'm going to put that on really good too. Don't be afraid to use this stuff. There's no spice in it. It's just a lot of sugars and really good. Now I can take and just kind of rub that in a little bit or press it in a little bit. And do the other side. Ooh, that's looking already good. Yeah, this is going to be so good. I don't know why I have that jingle in my head. The baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back. I'm a much better smoker than I am a singer, so. Alright. Now that that's on there, it's already started. I'm going to put a little bit more. There we go. Now that that's on there, we're going to let this sit up. We're going to get it nice and sweat. That meat's just going to start dissolving these rubs into the meat, and that's what we want. So we'll probably let this sit up for about 15-20 minutes, and then we can put it on the smoker. So when we get that smoker fired up, we're ready to put this on. We'll be back. Okay, so these ribs have been sitting for about 15 minutes while I got the grill set up. And look how it just got nice and wet here. That's what we want. That's definitely what we want. So we're going to get ready to throw it on the grill. Alright, so now we're ready to put this on the smoker. I got my smoker set at 250. We're going to put these on. Let it go for a couple hours, and then we'll see how that's doing. I'm going to go ahead and probably check on it in about an hour to make sure that it's coming along good. But yep, we'll be checking it in an hour, see what the temp is. We're trying to get this up to 165 around there, and then we can pull it off and wrap it. So I'll see you back then. Okay, so we're about an hour in, and it looks really good. The bark is starting to set up nice on it. I'm gonna check the temperature. We're trying to hit around 165. I'm telling you, this is doing really good. I don't want to overcook these. So we're getting close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and spritz them down just a little bit so we don't dry out. Don't have to go too crazy, and then we're going to let it go for, I'm going to say another 15 minutes, and these things will be ready to pull off. So we'll see you back then. Alright, so it's been about 20 minutes. And I just checked these a few minutes ago, and they're right about 165, 168. So I'm going to pull them off. Look at that. That is going to be nice. Whoop, flip flop. And we're going to go inside, and we're going to wrap them up. And I'll meet you inside. All right, so we're inside. We're going to go ahead and wrap these up in tin foil. I'm going to show you how we're going to wrap this. I'm going to set that to the side, because what I want to do, I want to get a little bit of brown sugar. Ooh, I like that. we go. And then we're gonna take some butter and we're gonna put it in with it. Stick to my fingers there. Now we got another piece we'll just stick right there. Okay? And then we're going to take a little bit of marinade I picked up yesterday. It's just a Hawaiian style marinade. It's made by the store brand Food Club. And we're going to put a little bit of that on there. This is going to give it a nice sweet taste too, I'm sure. There we go. Now we've been cooking these ribs meat side up, but now when we wrap, we're going to lay the meat side down just like that, and then we're going to wrap it up. You want to get this kind of tight. I got 2 layers of foil here so the bone doesn't stick through and seal it up. Then we'll fold these ends up. And what we're going to do is put them back on the smoker just like that with the meat side down at 250, just like we've been going along. And we'll check it again. We'll just check it in about a half an hour. My smoker is smoking pretty good today. It's got a lot of heat. So we're going to put this on the smoker just like that. And I'll check it in about 15 minutes just to see how it's going. Maybe 20, 30 minutes because I'm sure I got that long. We're trying to reach an internal temperature of the meat at 203, 205. And then we can pull it off and put some barbecue sauce on there. So I will meet you back in the kitchen when it's all done. Okay. So these ribs have been on for about 35, 40 minutes, and I'm going to check them and see how we're doing. And what we're looking for, oh yeah, if you can see how the bone is kind of protruding out, that's what we're looking for right there. So I want these to be right around 203, 205, somewhere around there. You don't want to hit the bone itself. Let's see, 204, that's good. That's about 200. Let's get one more point. Up, 204, that's good. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull these off very carefully, saving that juice that's in there from the brown sugar and the butter and the marinade. And we're going to take these. Woo. Oh yeah, that's some good stuff right there. We're going to go ahead and very carefully save this juice. Kind of boat it so you don't lose that. I'm going to set that off to the side here, and we're going to put these ribs back on just like this for another bit, maybe 30 minutes, and we're going to try to firm that back up a little bit. And then after it's firmed up, we'll go ahead and put some barbecue sauce on it. And if we go back in the kitchen, I'll show you how I'm making my barbecue sauce. So we'll be right back. So we're back inside. I've got this juice from the ribs that we're cooking, smoking, and we're going to just take a little bit of that juice and we're going to add it in. I'm using Sweet Baby Ray's. That's a good amount. Then all we're doing is just mixing that up, and this is what we're going to use back on the ribs when we baste them. What I'm going to do is so I'm not putting like cold barbecue sauce on my ribs. I'm going to go ahead and put this little container in the smoker with the meat. Maybe I'll give it a little smoky taste to it. There we go. Okay, so when I'm ready to pull these off and get them back in the kitchen, put the sauce on, we'll come back and show you how we're doing that. Alright, so it's been about 30 minutes. We're going to check on these ribs, see how they're doing. And they're looking really good. What I did was I put that barbecue sauce that I made with the drippings and everything. I'm going to go ahead and just baste this up a little bit. Kind of a nasty day here in northwest Idaho, but it's brightening up because we're going to have these ribs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sauce on, and then I'm going to let them set for about another 15 minutes and let it firm up a little bit. Then we're going to pull it off and we're going to cut into them and see how much goodness that is. Alright, so we'll pull this out now because I'm done with it. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, so about 15 minutes, we'll come back, take them off the grill, the smoker. I'll meet you inside and we'll let them rest for a little while. Alright, so I got the ribs off after about 15 minutes so I could let that sauce kind of bind up, get candied on it. And we're not going to cut into it right away. We're going to let it rest for 15 minutes, let the juices redistribute into the meat, make it nice and tender. So we will meet you back here in about another 15 minutes, and we'll slice them up and give them a taste. We're back in the kitchen. These ribs have rested for 15 minutes. So we're going to cut into them and give them a try. They smell awesome. I'm going to cut right here in the middle for the, oh my gosh. Look at that. I just went right through it. Got a nice little smoke ring on it. They look juicy and tender. So we're going to find out. Cutting it this way so I can see it. And I'm going to even cut a little piece off. Down. Well, let's get a good piece right here. I'm going to give this one to my wife who's filming so she can give it a try. Looks good. Good, huh? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's nice and sweet too. And it pulls off the bone real easy. Put that on the side. Okay, so we're going to cut these up and we're going to have some lunch, but I'm going to recap a little bit of how long things took. Mine took a shorter time than maybe some of everybody else's will take, especially if you go at like a lower temperature like 225. I went at 250. They came out great. So it was an hour at 250 on the smoker. I checked it after the first hour. I gave it a little bit of spritz of apple cider vinegar and water, kind of a 50-50 mix. Then 30 minutes longer, my temperature when I checked it was right at 165. That's where you want it, where the fats start breaking down. And I pulled them off after that 30 minutes and I went ahead and wrapped them up in foil with the butter and the brown sugar and the marinade. And then they went back on the smoker, foiled up, and they were only on there for about 30 minutes when the bone started pulling away. And that's what you want. You want, a lot of times when you're smoking, your times are going to vary and everything, but what you're looking for in a rib before you actually pull them off, you want the bone kind of protruding out. And that's where pulling that silver skin off helped. If you don't, your bones aren't going to pull out from the meat as good, maybe not at all. I don't know. I do know that everything was set right. They look amazing. They smell amazing. They taste amazing. And then what I did was I put them in the foil back on for the 30 minutes. Then I took them out, barbecue sauced them, and let them go for another 30 minutes. Let them rest for 15. So actually my total time was only 2 hours and 45 minutes. And like I said, your times will vary. Just keep an eye out for temperatures, the look of them, the bone protruding, and you can't go wrong. These are excellent. So we're going to cut these up a little bit, and we're going to put them on a plate, and we're going to have some lunch. So thank you for watching Smoking with Dave.